together, ladies and gentlemen, to tell you an unfortunate piece of news. An Inspector General is coming.
What? An Inspector General?
What? An Inspector General?
Yes, an inspector from St. Petersburg, incognito, and with secret instructions.
Pretty how do you do?
As if he had enough trouble without an inspector.
Good Lord, the secret instructions.
Yes, here is a letter I'll read to you from Andrei Ivanovich. You know him, Artemy Filipovich. Listen to what he writes. My dear friend, godfather, and benefactor, I hasten to let you know, among other things, that an official has arrived here with instructions to inspect the whole government, and your district especially. I have learned of his being here from highly trustworthy sources, though he pretends to be a private person. So as you have your little peccadillos, you know, like everybody else, you are a sensible man, and don't let the good things that come your way slip by. Oh, that's just his joke. I advise you to take precautions, as he may arrive any hour, if he hasn't already, and isn't already staying somewhere incognito. Yesterday, all the rest are family matters. So there you have it, gentlemen, the situation as we are confronted with.
An extraordinary situation. Most extraordinary. Something behind it, I am sure.
But why, Tonovich? What for? Why should we have an inspector?
Oh, it's fate, I suppose. Till now, thank goodness, they've been nosing about in other towns. Now I suppose our turn has come.
My opinion is, Antonovich, that the cause is a deep one and rather political in character. It means this, that Russia intends to go to war, and the government has secretly commissioned an official to find out if there's any treasonable activity anywhere.
Yes, you've hit on the very thing. Oh, but treason. In this little town? As if it were on the frontier. Why, you might gallop 3 years away from here and reach nowhere.
No, you don't catch on. You don't. The government is shrewd. It makes no difference that a town is so remote. The government is on the lookout all the same.
Well, on the lookout or not on the lookout, I have given you my warning. I have made some arrangements for myself, and I suggest you do the same. Especially you, Andrei Filipovich. This official, no doubt, will want to inspect your department first. So I suggest that you make sure that everything is in order, that the nightcaps are clean, and that the patients don't go about as they usually do, looking as grimy as blacksmiths.
Oh, that's a small matter. We can get nightcaps easily.
And over each bed, you might hang a placard stating in Latin or some other language the name of the disease, when the patient fell ill, the day of the week and the month.
As to treatment, the doctor and I have worked out our own system. Our rule is, the nearer to nature, the better. We use no expensive medicines. A man is a simple affair. If he dies, he'd die anyway. If he gets well, he'd get well anyway. Besides, the doctor will have a hard time making the patients understand him. He doesn't know a word of it.
Oh, and you, Anastasia Fedorovna, had better see to the courthouse. The attendants there have turned the entrance hall, where the petitioners usually wait, into a poultry yard. And the little geese and goslings go poking their beaks between people's legs. It's commendable to set up housekeeping, I will give you that. And there's no reason why a porter shouldn't do it. Only, you see, the courthouse is not exactly the place for it.
Well, I'll have them all taken into the kitchen today. Wouldn't this better with goose? Parsley or garlic?
Oh, and the courthouse shouldn't be such a mess. That isn't right either. To have a hunting crop lying among the papers on your desk. Oh, you're fond of sport, I know. Still, it's better to have the hunting crop removed for the present. Once the inspector is gone, you may put it back. And, as for your assessor, well, he's an educated man to be sure, but he reeks of spirits, as if he had just emerged from a distillery. That's not right either. If his odor is really a congenital effect, as he claims, then there are ways of remedying it. You might suggest that he chews onion or garlic, or something else of the sort.
No, there's no cure for it. He says his nurse struck him when he was a child, and ever since he has smelt the vodka.
Well, I just wanted to call your attention to it. As for what Artemy Ivanovich calls little peccadillos and the internal administration, well, I have nothing to say, because there isn't a man alive who doesn't have some sins to answer for, because that's the way God made the world, and the Voltairean freethinkers can think against all they like and won't do anything.
What do you mean by sins, Antonovich? There are sins and sins. I tell everyone plainly that I take bribes. I make no bones about it. What kind of bribes? White greyhound puppies, that's quite a different matter.
Well, bribes are bribes, whether puppies or anything else. And you, Luka Lukic, had better see to the schools, the teachers specifically. They are educated men, no doubt, with a college education. Only you see, they have funny habits, inseparable from the profession, I know. And as, for instance, that one man, the one with the fat face, is sure the moment he takes his seat, to screw up his face like this. I mean, and then he has this habit of sticking his hand under his necktie and smoothing down his beard. I mean, it doesn't matter, of course, if he makes a face at the students. Perhaps it's even necessary. I'm no judge of that. But you yourself will admit that if he does it to a visitor, things may turn out very badly indeed.
But what can I do? Spoken to him about it several times. Only the other day when Martial Nobility came into the classroom, he made such a face at him as I had never in my life seen before. I dare say it was with the best intentions. I get reprimanded for permitting radical ideas to be instilled in the minds of the young.
And as for the history teacher, I must call your attention to the history teacher. He is a fine man with a store of learning in his head, a store of facts, but he lectures with such ardor that he quite forgets himself. Once I listened to him, as he was talking about the Assyrians and the Babylonians, it wasn't so bad, but when he reached Alexander of Macedon, I couldn't describe what came over him. Upon my word, I thought a fire had broken out. He leaped out from the platform, picked up a chair, and dashed it to the floor. Oh, Alexander of Macedon was a hero, it is true, but that's no reason for breaking chairs. The state must bear the cost.
Yes, he is a hot one. I've spoken to him about several times. He only says as you please, but in the cause of learning, I've even sacrificed my life.
Yes, it's a mysterious law of fate. Your clever man is either a drunkard or he makes such grimaces that you feel like running away.
Heaven save us from the educational department. Everyone's meddles and wants to show that they're as clever as you.
Well, that doesn't matter now. This cursed incognito is on my mind. All of a sudden he'll look and, so you're here, my dear fellows. And where's the judge here? Well, we have Kina. Really have Kina here. And who's the superintendent of charities? Well, Zemlya Anika. Bring Zemlya Anika here. That's what's bad.
Tell me, gentlemen, who's coming?
Oh, what? Haven't you heard?
Well, this guy told me to the post office just now.
Well, what do you think about it?
What do I think about it? There'll be a war with the Turks.
Exactly. Just what I thought.
Oh, yes. You both hit in the air precisely.
It's war with the Turks, all fomented by the French.
War with the Turks, indeed. It's we who are going to get it, not the Turks. Huh, you can count on that, and I have this letter to prove it.
In that case, we won't go to war with the Turks.
Well, how do you feel about it, Ivan Kuzminichna?
How do I feel about it? How do you feel about it, Anton Antonovich?
I'm not afraid. It's just the townspeople and the merchants bother me. I seem to be unpopular with them. But the Lord knows that if I've taken from some, I've done it without a trace of ill feeling. I even suspect that I may have been denounced. Or why would they send an inspector to us? Well, look here, Ivana Kuzminichna, now don't you think you could just open every little letter that comes your way through the post office for the common benefit of us all? And if it is all right, well, you may seal it up again or just deliver the letter opened.
I don't know, you can teach me that. I do not so much of a precaution out of curiosity. I just itch to know what's doing in the world and everything. Very interesting reading, I tell you. Some letters are fascinating, parts are written in grand or edifying for the Moscow.
Well, have you seen anything about an inspector from St. Petersburg?
No, nothing on a big paper official. They got Pastroma and Seratop one. It's a pity you don't read the letters. There's some very fine passages. For instance, the other day, a lieutenant writes to his friend describing a ball, very wittily. He put a lot of feeling into his description, a whole lot. I cut the letter off purpose. Would you like to read it?
No, it's not the time. But if ever you chance upon a complaint or a denunciation, don't hesitate a moment. Hold it back.
I will, with the greatest pleasure.
You had better be careful. You may get yourself into trouble.
Goodness me.
Never mind. I mean, it would be different if we were publicly broadcasting it, but this is a private affair, just between us.
Yes, it's a bad business. I really came here to make you a present of a puppy, sister to the dog you know about. I suppose you have heard that Teftovich Baravinsky has started a suit. So now I live in clover. I had hairs first to the one's estate and then on the others.
Oh, I'm sorry, friend. I don't care about your hairs right now. This cursed incognito is on my mind. All of a sudden, the door will open, and in walks in...
An extraordinary occurrence!
An unexpected piece of news!
Now, what is it?
Something quite unforeseen. We were about to enter the inn.
Yes, we were about to enter the inn when...
Please, Ivana Ivanovna, let me tell.
No, let me. Besides, you can't. You haven't got the style for it.
Oh, but you'll get all mixed up and won't remember everything.
Yes, I will. Upon my word, I will. Now, please don't interrupt. Do let me tell the news. Don't interrupt. Pray oblige me, ladies and gentlemen, and tell Dovchinskaya not to interrupt.
Oh, for heaven's sake, just tell us. What is it? My heart is in my mouth.
Permit me. I'll tell it all just as it happened. As soon as I had the pleasure of taking leave of you after you were good enough to be bothered with the letter which you had received, sir, I ran out. Now don't interrupt, Ivana Ivanovna. I know all about it. All, I tell you. So I ran out to film Kurokin, but not finding Kurokin at home. I went up to see Rostokovsky, but not finding Rostokovsky at home. I went up to see Ivana Kuzminichna to tell her the news you got. Going on from there, I met Dovchinskaya
At the stall where they sell pies.
Yes, at the store where they sell pies. I met Dovchinskaya and I said to her, have you heard the news which Anton Antonovich has gotten in a letter which is absolutely reliable? But Ivanovna had already heard it from your housekeeper, Avdotya, who, I don't know why, had been sent to Felipe Antonovich Pachuchulya's
To give a little cake for French brandy.
Yes, to get a little cake for French brandy. Well, off we went to Pachuchulya's, and on the way, Dovchinskaya says to me, let's stop by the inn, she says. I haven't eaten since morning. And my stomach is growling. Yes, sir, her stomach was growling. They've just got in supply fresh salmon at the inn. Let's take a bite. Now, we had hardly entered the inn when we saw a young man
Of rather good appearance and dressed in ordinary citizen's clothes.
yes, in rather good appearance and dressed in his clothes, walking up and down the room. There was something out of the usual at his face, something deep, and a manner about him. And here, full of everything. Well, I had a sort of feeling, and I said to Dovchinskaya, something is up. This is no ordinary matter. Yes, Dovchinskaya beckoned to Vlas, the landlord, you know. 3 weeks ago, his wife presented him with a baby, a bouncer. He'll grow up to be just like his father and keep a tavern. Well, we beckoned to Vlas, and Dovchinskaya asked her on the quiet, who, she said, is that young man? That young man, Vlas replied, that young man, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt, you can't tell the story. Upon my word, you cannot. You have a lisp, and one tooth in your mouth makes you whistle. I know what I say. That young man, Vlas replied, is an official. Yes, sir. From St. Petersburg. And his name is Ivan Alexandrovich Klestikov. And he's going, he said, to the government of Saratov. And he acts so queerly. It's the second week he's been here and he doesn't leave the house. And he won't pay a penny, he takes everything on account. Now, when Vlas told me this, a light dawned on me from above, and I said to Ivana Ivanovna, hey!
No, Ivana Ivanovna, I said, hey!
Well, first you said it, then I did. Hey! He said, and Alex's son here was going on to the government of Saratov. Yes, sir, that's he! The official!
What? Wait, who, what official?
Well, the official you were notified was coming. The inspector!
What? No! Good heavens! Oh, what's that you're saying? It can't be he.
It is though, why? He doesn't pay his bill and he doesn't leave. And his post is ordered for Saratov.
It's he! But he's so alert, he scrutinized everything. He saw the Dovchinskaya and I were eating salmon, chiefly on account of Dovchinskaya's stomach. And he looked at her place so hard, I was frightened to death.
Oh, Lord have mercy on us sinners. In what room is he staying?
Room number 5, near the stairwell.
The same room that the officers quarreled in when they were coming through here last year.
Okay, but how long has he been here?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? 2 weeks? In that time, I have flogged the wife of a non-commissioned officer. The prisoners haven't been given their rations. The streets are as dirty as a pothouse. A scandal! It's a disgrace!
What do you think, Anton Antonovich? We better go to the inn?
No. First send the chief magistrate, then the clergy, then the merchants.
No, gentlemen. Leave it to me. I have been in difficult situations before this, and they have turned out all right. I have even been rewarded with thanks. Perhaps the Lord will help us out this time, too. Did you say he was a young man?
Yes, about 23 or 4 at most.
So much the better. It's easier to push things out of a young man. Well, you gentlemen proceed at your end of the business, and I'll go, unofficially, by myself, or with Dovchinskaya here. As though for a walk. No. As though for a walk. to see that the guests are properly accommodated. Smisovna! Run as quickly as you can to the police captain. No, wait. I'll need you here. Send someone as quickly as you can to the police captain and tell him you're to come back as quickly as you can. Go!
Let's go, Anastasia. Maybe really gets into trouble.
What have you got to be afraid of? Put clean nightcaps on the patients and the thing's done.
Nightcaps. Nonsense. The patients were ordered to have oatmeal soup. And instead, there's such a smell of cabbage in all the corridors that you have to hold your nose.
Well, my mind's at ease. Who's going to visit the court? Supposing he does look at the papers, he'll wish he had left them alone. I have been on the bench 15 years, and when I take a look at your report, I despair. King Solomon in all his wisdom could not tell what is true and what is not true in them.
Oh, is the cab ready?
Yes, sir.
Good. Well,
And Prokofiev is in somebody's house right now.
oh, why so?
Well, they brought her back this morning dead drunk. They
Drunk?
put 2 buckets of water over her and she hasn't soaked up
Oh,
yet.
well, go out and do it now. No. Stay here. Run up to my room, do you hear? Fetch my sword and my new hat. Oh, come on, Ivanova, let's go.
And me too. Oh, let me come, Anton Antonovich, please.
No, Bodshinskaya, that won't do. Besides, there won't be enough room for you in the cab.
Well, that's all right. I'll walk. I just want to look through the back to, see the manner of his, how he acts.
All right. All right, gather up all the policemen and let them each take. Oh, look at that! See how scratched my sword is! Oh, that doggone merchant, Adrienne. She sees that the governor's sword is old and doesn't provide a new one. Oh, sharpers. I'm sure they have their petitions ready against me in their coattail pockets. Well, no, gather up the policemen and let them all take a street in their hand. No, not a street. I mean a broom. Let each take a broom into his hand and sweep the streets up to the inn. Sweep them clean, do you hear? Oh, and I know you. I know your tricks. You insinuate yourselves into the inn and walk out with silver spoons in your boots. Well, I'm watching you. Don't graft higher than your rank. You're only a servant. Let's go. Oh! Stephen Elliott! Where have you been keeping yourself? What do you mean by acting this way?
I was outside the gate.
Oh, were you? Oh. Well, an official has arrived from St. Petersburg. What have you done about it?
But you told me to. I sent the policeman into the streets to clean it up for you.
All right, and there's your mortal?
He went off in the fire engine.
Broke her up and I was drunk?
Yes.
How could you allow her to get drunk?
Heaven knows, yesterday there was a fight outside town. She went to a store during this rough action.
Well, then this is what you're going to do. Sergeant Kukovich, he is tall, so put him on the bridge for appearance's sake. Oh, I forgot about the 40 cartloads of rubbish that have been dumped by that fags. Oh, what a vile, filthy town this is. Oh, and if the functionary that comes here asks if any of the sergeants are satisfied, they are to say, perfectly satisfied, Your Honor. And if any of them are dissatisfied, I'll give them something to be dissatisfied about. Oh, it's a terrible scenario. We'll have Norman grant that gets the matter over and done with as quickly as possible. Then I'll donate a candle that's never been offered before. I'll levy 100 pounds of wax off of every filthy merchant. Come, let's go.
And Antonovich says the hat box.
Oh, with you! The hat box! It's the hat box! The deuce taken! Oh, and if the functionary that comes here asks where the church is for which the money was appropriated 5 years ago, don't let them forget to say that the church was begun but was destroyed in a fire. I sent her a report about it, you know. Some blame fool might forget and let slip that the church was never even begun!